Just give me a countdown that I can follow. Great. So I just said that live. Very likely. Fantastic. What a way to start. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hamilton Fringe's What the Fest. This is the final hashtag Hamot Happy Half Hour. I am Chris Stanton. I'm the festival director here at the Hamilton Fringe, and I wanted to start tonight with a land acknowledgement. Here I'm standing, or sitting as it were, because if I stood up, you'd see that I'm not wearing the right pants for this outfit. I'm sitting on in a city that I call home, that we now call Hamilton. It's on the traditional lands of the Erie, the Neutral, the Huron-Wendat, or the Wendat, and the Haudenosaunee peoples. And for the past couple of hundred years, it has been the traditional territories of the Mississauga of the Credit First Nation. We're probably across a few different lands right now. Franny, do you want to check in from Oakville?
Yes, I would love to check in from Oakville. Hello. If you're just joining us for the first time this week, welcome. I've been coming to you live from Oakville this whole week. I'm just going to grab some text here. So where I'm based in Oakville is historically, it is treaty territory. It is historically with the Anishinaabe, the Attawandaron, the Haudenosaunee, and the Métis. This history with Oakville has many rich traditions, historical traditions, and modern traditions with the current folks who are still living here. And I'd like to take a moment to say that I recognize that my family has been in this area in Oakville in the GTA for many generations and benefits from the background of folks who immigrated from Europe many hundreds of years ago. And I do benefit from that as a history with colonization, and that those historical actions continue to greatly impact people today. So to take a moment to recognize that.
Great, thanks, Franny. Also, just to mention that colonialism has a way, this is something that I've learned thanks to some of our partners and friends of the Fringe. Cole Elvis, I want to thank a Métis man from Manitoba who's based out of the GTA, and George Johnson, who is a Cayuga elder and knowledge keeper with the Six Nations, and our friend artist Rod Nedagog, who is also an Anishinaabe man from the Hendy Inlet First Nation. They've been just opened my eyes to this specific territory here, and some of the sort of disputes that have happened in the past and continue, and how colonialism sort of fed into that. I encourage everybody to sort of do the research and do the work and do the digging to find out what who the traditional caretakers of the land and waters were where you're at, because colonialism also has a tendency to erase histories as well. So just wanting to pay the respects to the folks who our colonial history here in what we call Canada now has erased or obscured or leaves unacknowledged or unrecorded, because there's lots of people who fall into that category too. So yeah, just some respect to that. So and just how nice it is to be able to make work here on this land. So personally, always trying to become a better caretaker and a better partner with the traditional caretakers upon whose land I am grateful enough to work and privileged enough to live on. So yeah, so you're right now, you are in, if you're in this Zoom meeting with us, welcome. That's awesome. You are in the Digital Fringe Club. You are actually inside the Digital Fringe Club. You can kind of see, like, this part of the night is a fun one. You can, I encourage you to put it into gallery mode so you can kind of see everybody. If you want to flip your video on, that's cool. If you don't, that's also cool. It's a place to kick back, to enjoy a refreshing beverage. I've got a little bit of SpawnCon going on. The Digital Fringe Club is brought to you in partnership with Collective Arts. I've got a little audio-visual lager going on here today. Delicious, refreshing, audio-visual. Yeah, so it's just like the Fringe Club, also in another way. If you as the night goes, we are hopefully going to have a very exciting night. As the night goes, you can also grab a table. So just talk to our Ham Fringe mod there. It says Hamilton Fringe moderator. Talk to them specifically in the chat, or talk to everybody and just say, hey, we want to sneak out to a table, and they'll set you up at a table, one of the 5 tables that's been named after our sponsors and partners here. So Franny, I'm going to need help here, I guarantee, because I don't have this list in front of me. It is Collective, I know, right? It is Collective Arts. It is Mosaic.
Paisley Coffee House.
Paisley Coffee House, Mosaic, Absinthe.
Red Church.
Red Church. There's one more, isn't there?
Collective Arts.
5. Collective Arts.
Paisley, Mosaic, Absinthe, Red Church, and then we land on Collective Arts again. We did it.
That's it. That's all we need. That's all we needed. Yeah, it starts at Collective Arts, it ends at Collective Arts, and we are actually going live later to Collective Arts if we can get these internet issues sussed out. We're having a bit of trouble with the internet at Collective Arts right now. But if we can get this sussed out, which I have every hope on earth will happen, then we are going to go live later to Nezqwik, which I'll let Heather do the proper. She's Heather Kanabe, our executive director, again, is doing a remote. She's on location there at Collective Arts, which is super exciting. She gets all the fun assignments. Hey,
yeah,
we've been sitting in our damn chairs.
The furthest I've gone was when I did yesterday makeup in the bathroom.
Yeah. Incidentally, if you did not get a chance to see the finished product, if Franny, you don't mind me referring to you as product.
I'm an actor in addition to a producer. Way before I was a producer. I'm used to it, friend.
Oh, that's so funny. No, it's true. Like if you didn't get a chance to see the final results, go to plug your IG account, Franny, if you want.
Ooh, sure. My Instagram is at Franny, FRANNY _M like Mary, C like cat, B like boy, at Franny _MCB. And you can see some real glitter, a real glitter look.
That's great. It was incredible. You looked fabulous. Like,
thank you so much.
For reals. It was awesome. You look fabulous tonight too. I did it's usually not the best thing to tell somebody they looked fabulous in the past.
No, but I see what you're doing, but also I put in a lot more work yesterday. So it's fair for equal work to have equal
Bless your heart. That is exactly what I'm acknowledging. It's the work that I'm acknowledging. This keeps getting worse somehow.
I braided my hair last night so that it would look like human hair today.
It's awesome.
Because this wasn't on camera, but as a little side story, I was going to brush my hair and do my makeup all at the same time during drag prep. And the hair brushing would have taken all night. So I just hid it. I hid it away. All the knots were tucked away. And now so this also was work. So I appreciate it all.
Amazing. So I did see, just for the viewers at home, if you're paying attention here and keeping track, and there are, first of all, a couple of bits of housekeeping. I'm just going to say that Franny cut out a bit of her hair and showed it to me. So it was I did. It was like surgery.
I can show it. It's ugly.
Good. It'll be. I think our reactions will be a little bit like the reactions to the horror movie on Friday, just silent terror as we see these locks of hair that were removed surgically from your head.
You can't really tell. I've got enough that I wasn't worried. My best description is think of a big burr that gets stuck to your legs when you're going for a hike.
I'm thinking about it now.
Wispy hair like a comet, and that's pretty much.
That is kind of what it looked like. In honor of Comet Neowise, the brightest comet since Hale-Bopp. I don't know that that's true. It probably isn't true. From the Northern Hemisphere, I think that is true. That it's the brightest comet from as seen from the Northern Hemisphere since Comet Hale-Bopp. Look it up if you're young. It was cool. It was the 90s. Pearl Jam was #1 at the time.
I was having sleepovers.
Speaking of Pearl Jam, I've never seen them live, but I mean, we're going to see some live. Oh no, I'm going to do some housekeeping first.
Yeah, housekeeping.
Yeah. So this is very important. if you have not got tickets to tonight's shows, get tickets to tonight's shows. You can do that. Open another browser window. If you're in the Zoom with us here, you can go and just like, I don't mind if you go away for a second, go to hamiltonfringe.ca/schedule. That has the full list of every damn thing we've done top to bottom. This is the last of these 6 days. It's kind of been amazing, actually. I can't believe we're bringing it home tonight. But yeah, like go.
For the live stuff.
That's right. That's right. For the live streaming. Yeah, don't worry. I'm going to hit this.
I'm too excited. Go on.
Good catch. But yeah, you can buy tickets there. Tickets are a pay what you can afford model, which is sort of like the tiered pay what you can afford model. I stole completely wholesale from Why Not Theatre, a wonderful Toronto company run by Ravi Jain and Awais Lightwala.
Snaps for
yeah, full snaps. Basically, yeah, what it does is it allows you, the ticket buyer, the freedom without sort of showing, student ID or being like, here, I'm unemployed. It gives you the dignity to say, yeah, I can't do, whatever right now. I can do $2 though. So they start at $2 for the accessible price. $7 is the regular price. 15 plus is what we're calling support the artist. And that gives you access to the live stream of our Stream Out Loud shows all the way up to August 9th. So you can watch it live and sort of like be involved in the chat. Many of our artists are actually in the chat room live with you while you're live streaming. You're watching together. It's as close as you're going to get to theater in a regular theater with other human beings right now, while we're sort of in this new, hopefully temporary normal. And you get to pay what you want. Know though, if you're like, sweet, I've got a ton of money, but I only want to pay $2. Know that all of the money goes directly to the artists here at the Fringe. The Hamilton Fringe, and so they get 100% of the money, and many artists are, I should probably turn off the blings from WhatsApp here. I'm going to do that right now. Many of these artists, as many of us are in the industry, we don't know when the next gig is going to happen. Like there's a lot of uncertainty around. So your support means a ton. They get support. They get a little bit of financial, like some revenue from their ticket sales in an uncertain time, and you get to watch incredible online content. So like some great new theater online, and there have been a ton of great shows. I've been watching a bunch of them. There's a load. I don't want to pick favorites right now at all. Maybe someday down the road, if you want to pull me aside, I'll be like, this one was really good. But there's a ton of great stuff that we're featuring right now. So check it out, hamiltonfringe.ca/schedule. Buy some tickies. And Franny, you were reminding me about the fact that it ain't over when tonight ends. That there's other stuff happening.
Yeah. So the cool thing, there's been a lot of really interesting like roller coaster ride as we've been producing and presenting this festival with everyone, and as we're getting feedback from our audiences and from our artists. It's been a really cool.
Sometimes from our microphones.
Yeah, like it's been really great. So, but one of the coolest things is because we have this extended till August 9th opportunity for everybody. So you can continue supporting the artists and buying tickets to their shows. You can buy a pass, and that gets you all of the paid content, all the paid online content, and you can watch it on your own schedule. So you can pop it on in the morning. You can pop it on before bed. If there's a show you really love, you can watch and rewatch and rewatch. If there's a show that you're like, I feel like I need to process that after I've eaten dinner, or like, ooh, that was a little hard. I want to come back to it. Like there's a lot of opportunity to examine things in different spaces in your own life, as opposed to, oh God, it's 7:40 and I had to run from the parking lot and now I can't even think, and I think they're saying words but I can't even focus. Like there's a real opportunity to take in the pieces of art in a different way. I think that's been really cool.
Franny, would you say that we're witnessing in real time the Netflixification of the theatrical institution? Now listen, I don't think you should answer that because it's a super dumb question.
No, but I know what you mean, and that was interesting. And my biggest thought was, if the like yes and no, to be honest,
yeah, it's true,
because
eh?
yes, in that when we think back to what Netflix first did, it was like a very weird idea. They were mailing DVDs
I
and like
remember
movies by
that.
pen pal. Like, what a strange concept.
I
And then
know,
it
and then you would have
evolved.
like Hotel Rwanda on top of your TV for like 1,000 years when
Yes.
TVs were deep enough to be able to put a
Yes.
DVD on top of them.
Yes, when people had DVD players still.
Yeah,
And so it's interesting because I think that evolution, and now it's so common and so many people have access to it, and it's a model for a lot of different, companies and platforms. And I
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if something like this does spur and kick into theater in a bigger picture. My
yeah,
biggest hesitation why I'd have to say no, this isn't that exactly,
yeah, sure.
because we as a company specifically, and many of the companies that are putting on especially the fringe festivals,
Yeah, yeah,
we are just making a space for artists to go, here you go. But we're not, a giant, we're not a movie studio that has a budget to commission work and pay out big dividends. And so the scale financially is what makes
yeah,
me say not so much, but the concept I think is really interesting. And when
yeah.
we were chatting with our staff earlier today, I mentioned something about, was it today? Who could know for sure? But I mentioned something that we as a group need to remember to remind our artists, hey,
Yeah,
you got to keep reminding everybody that your art is still available and your ticket sales are still on until August 9th,
that's
because
right.
theater artists are not used to, like, when your show's done, goodbye, good night, the lights are
Yes,
out, you're home, and that's it.
yes,
But in this, it's a new way to think. And the reason why I keep reminding us, and in this chat we made a point of saying, oh, we have to make sure we talk about these extended dates, because when have you ever bought a ticket to a theater show and then been able to rewatch it for 2 weeks after the show closed? Never. That's new on earth.
once, but they never let me come back after I was there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, they
I
had
don't want to
this
talk
one.
about it.
Everyone agreed. Everyone knew in advance.
That's right. There's consent in advance. It's true. It's true. As opposed to, listen, sir,
Yeah, yeah.
take take your old popcorn and leave.
Yeah,
Um,
and this, we're like, please, we love it. Have your old popcorn, watch it for 2 weeks every day.
it's
Just, you can
true.
do it at your own house.
There was copy for one of the ads that went out on I think one of the chorus stations that we were all delighted by, but we're like, oh, I don't know. And it was one of my favorites that we had to nix, was the one that was like, hey man, you can do this without pants. And it's like like because I think it was you that was just like, no, 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 I'm not
Yeah, I
gonna
was like,
like
can we suggest sweatpants? Like, I love the idea of comfy pants, not hard pants. Who's wearing jeans? But
totally.
I would
I love
like the artists to not think that we're specifically pushing. People can make their choices at home. That's fine. But maybe we won't say that, like, the Fringe recommends.
necessarily, yeah, imply
Yeah.
encouragement or yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But I mean, the Fringe is a place of pushing boundaries and whatever. And to be honest, if you're in your own house and you bought a ticket, we can't, that's all we can control.
yeah.
You
It's
have the
true.
show for
It's
two
true.
weeks.
Um, yeah, it's very punk rock. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, yeah. Actually, speaking of punk rock,
Rock.
I mean, like, let's be clear that Nezqwik does not refer to themselves as punk rock in any way, shape, or form. They're more of like a they're all over the place. But like a jazz-based kind of trio. Used to be I think an 8-piece or something, and yeah, people probably started having babies and becoming accountants. I bet.
Interesting.
I bet you that's what happened. That's what always happens. That's how all the bands that I was in, like the drummer would buy a condo and you're like, oh well, I guess that's it.
Yes, my cousin played in the Deadly Snakes, a Toronto band that was
Oh
pretty.
sweet. I've never heard of them. I
Oh,
wasn't in Toronto yet though. I
they're
guarantee you.
amazing. They were, when I was in high school, they were pretty big. So in like 2000s,
Right
and
on.
yeah, I remember the same kind of thing. They were like really picking up and doing a lot of touring, and then a bunch of it was mostly guys, might have been all guys, and then a bunch of
Yeah.
them had kids, and we're like, I think I want to just be with my baby now.
Isn't
And my
that
friend was like,
like
what?
it's so true. And the guy, like the people without the babies are always like, oh no, like because like it makes perfect sense when you like. I mean, suddenly you're just like, well, there's this full human being now, and I'm not sure if being in a van with three grown men and wearing the same underwear for 4 days is the best lifestyle choice anymore. But like to the people who are like in the band, it's just like, oh no, Jacob sold out.
Yeah.
What was your first show? What was your very first live show?
Ooh, my very first live show was
yeah.
I don't know why it keeps coming back to this. 1996. I was in grade 6.
Hot.
And
yes.
I went to see the Backstreet Boys, and I went with my dad because I was too young to like go by myself. And then my dad became a huge Backstreet Boys fan. He was like, the harmonies, they're so tight. He loved
they
it.
are. You know what? You can say a lot of shit about those boy bands, but like the singing and the production and just the sort of like the tightness of the harmonies, you cannot fault that. You cannot. It's the same. Like I find myself doing the same thing with K-pop. Like I'm just absolutely bewildered by how like super sleek it is. It's just so good.
Yeah, totally. I remember kind of growing out of it and aging out of Backstreet Boys, and my dad was sort of like, oh, that's too bad. And my younger sister got a little older, and he was like, Hannah, have you heard of the Backstreet Boys? And he like got her into Backstreet
Have
Boys.
I got a band for you? And you think it's going to be like Jethro Tull, but no.
And the Beatles, they would do Backstreet Boys and Beatles, and they really got into it together.
That's good. That's good. At least there was a little bit of old man content there, because like that would have made me a little bit upset to know that there wasn't a bit of dad con in there.
Oh, tons of dad con. My parents are both. Growing up, I was like the music loser at my school, like big music nerd, never knew what was playing on the radio or whatever. It was my parents that were like the real music heads, and they had amazing stuff from every decade. We had tons of records and CDs, and so I was like, well, I don't know, I'm listening to like the soundtrack to the Big Easy because I'm really into Zydeco music, and my friends were like,
See, but that's the kind of stuff that is exactly the kind of thing where it's like all the popular kids in high school end up like weirdly like marrying their high school loves and like building a house like in the place that they grew up and they never leave or whatever. And like you're like in high school, it's like, oh man, they're so cool. And then you find out that all of the nerds ended up cool. Like it's always the nerds that end up cool. So you being a Zydeco fan, like, dude, in first year university, that would be like the first thing I'd drop on a date would be like, oh, by the way, I'm kind of into Zydeco.
I can't stay long. I'm going to a bluegrass concert. Like,
totally.
What was your? Oh.
Just hang tight. Great. So Wilson has told me that we've got about 7 minutes before we throw to the video.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a second, and then after the video, we'll come back to us and we'll talk a little bit about the video and the Google Map and the stuff.
Amazing. Chris,
Great.
What was your first live show? Mine was Backstreet Boys. What was yours?
My first live show, it's so cute that I think in some ways our childhoods parallel in the only in certain ways, obviously divergent in many, but like my first my taste was broadly defined by my parents. Like I didn't, and they were listening to stuff like Phil Collins and Genesis, and my mom really dug. And in fact, they were listening to like Phil Collins and Genesis, and then I sort of found Peter Gabriel through Genesis. So I was like this full-on like nerdy grade 6 kid who like everybody we got to play tapes during lunch. So I would bring in these old weird Genesis tapes that I had bought from A&A Sound at Sherwood Park Mall. And I'd be like, you guys, is it okay if we listen to this? And they're like, what is it? And I'd convince them to take out the John Bon Jovi and the Slippery When Wet, and then put in Selling England by the Pound by Genesis, circa 1973, with Peter Gabriel singing. And it's all like, it sounds, it's not quite like elves and wizards, but it sounds like that. It's like, and everybody's going like, what is this? And I'm like, listen how he's like, how quick he's doing the guitar. It's so fast. It's so good.
Yes.
I was not well loved for my choices.
I remember trying really hard to get people into Malcolm McLaren's album Fans, which is like weird, like electro pop versions of classical opera songs, which I was like, it's so good! And my friends were just like, can we just like do the Backstreet Boys CD again? And I'm like, I can only practice this dance with you so many times.
It's so true. Does anybody is there anybody in the Zoom room that wants? Oh, I should say my first concert was Crowded House. My first concert was Crowded House, and that was what I was driving towards with the parents.
Oh sure.
Because like my mom really liked like I think she had a bit of a crush on Neil Finn, the singer from Crowded House, and so she was like she would play Better Be Home Soon, and I was just like, oh my god, I love these guys so much. So Crowded House was my first show, and I went with my mom, and I like there's no way on earth my mother is watching this right now, but if she is, shout out to my mom who would stay out with me overnight. She would drive me and usually a friend to wait for tickets. This was in the days before the wristbands and the sort of like don't like you have to wait in line. You had to wait in line, and we would drive overnight, sleep in the goddamn car. My mom and me and like my friend Craig often or my brother Matt, and wait outside Bonnie Doon Mall in Edmonton for the Bass Ticketmaster outlet to open up, and that like she did that. We did that for Paul Simon. I think we did that for like a Sting concert or something. We did that for a shitty Bryan Adams show that I didn't want to go to, but the girl I had a crush on did. Is there anybody before we throw to this to this video here? I just want to see. We're running a little loosey-goosey tonight because things aren't quite, I don't think, up yet at the Collective Arts on location. So I just want to I just want to shout out to the folks here in the Zoom room. Is there anybody like unmute yourself or put yourself up on video or anything you want to do in terms of like what was your first show? What was your first your first live show? If you wanna share that'd be amazing.
Yeah, or you can put it in the chat and we can read it out.
Put it in the chat, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, the first musical live show that you went to, like band or if it was like classical, or if it was just like a church show or whatever, like anything that was like sort of your first big music sort of experience, your first live music experience. What do you think? This is a different question, Franny, while we're waiting for folks to and also like if you're on YouTube or Facebook, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, and
please put it in the chat.
Yeah, the mods will mention to us.
And mods can also answer. I'm curious. We have really cool. Heather's going to take us through our team members later tonight, but we have amazing volunteers. I'm curious if they're willing to share what some of their shows may have been.
Understood. Wilson is telling me that we're still working things out at Collective Arts, and so and I'm looking here. Some of our moderators, one of our moderators here, who's in the Zoom room, our Hamont mod has said, going to see the Backstreet Boys with my dad was my first live music event too.
There you go.
Shout outs to the Backstreet dads. That's pretty sweet.
The Backstreet Boys, maybe?
Yeah. No. The Backstreet dads. I mean the dads that are like, sure, yeah, I'll do that. And especially the dads like yours, Franny, who were like, I dig this. I actually dig this.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. And Ham Fringe Mod here has just said, oh, this is great. Oh, this is great. The Ham Fringe Mod has said, only now do I appreciate how good a dad he is. I think that's how it works. Like I know that my daughter, who is 8 now, she's going to probably go through a very similar phase, and we'll come back together. But Adele and Peter here in the Zoom room said James Taylor in the pouring rain, which is genius because he probably sang Fire and Rain, right? And everybody's like, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I'm seeing it right now.
Watch out, Chris! Copyright. Watch out.
Claire, one of our other moderators here has said that One Direction was the first concert. That's a pretty solid one too. Like the big boy band first concert energy, hey?
I think it's pretty common. I think it's
Yeah.
common because there's a ton of advertising. A lot of people go in groups. Like I think for a lot of people, it's probably something like that.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Question also, what's the first like album or music thing you bought for yourself?
What was the question, Franny?
What's the first like CD or tape or whatever that you bought yourself that you were like, ooh, I'm putting my money into this artist?
Right. First tape was Selling England by the Pound by Genesis. First CD was Glass Tiger, The Thin Red Line.
Ooh.
Yeah. With their irrepressible hit. Is that a word? I don't think that's a word. Don't Forget Me. Remember? Don't forget me when.
Careful with the copyright.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get screwed. Don't sing. Oh man. Oh gosh. If you could see,
we're haunted by
curtain,
copyright ghosts.
friends in internet land, if you could see behind the curtain, the monstrous copyright robots we've been having to fight off.
Franny, time to go?
We're ready. Actually, Wilson in my ear is telling me, thanks everybody. What was your first concert, Wilson? OVO Fest. Wait, how old are you? OVO Fest was your first show?
Maybe
how old were you? Like 20 something. Okay. So when he could afford to do it on his own, Wilson Lin, our genius online tech demigod. Big ups to Wilson Lin, who's made this festival possible, actually.
Yes, dodging all these copyright.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'd go to screw it up. You have been flagged for Glass Tiger? They would probably just shut us down because of that. Like, Glass Tiger. But yeah, Wilson said he didn't get a chance to go to concerts until he was older, so he had to wait till he could afford it. So that's why OVO. Amazing. But he's also asking me if we can throw to Shakti Fine Arts the final the final chapter. So Franny, do you wanna throw us to the video here?
Yeah. I do want to. I'm not as prepared because I got so excited, but I do want to. Oh yes, okay.
I think it's row 24 in the script that we're not following at all.
Thank you. That's a secret. We're playing Battleship at the same time.
24D. Sunk my battleship.
You found my text in the script. Okay, so everyone, thank you so much for joining us this whole shebang, this whole week. And over the past 4 nights in particular, we have shown you 4 different short dances in a series called Facets by Shakti Fine Arts. Those dances were performed and captured around their hometown of Hamilton, Ontario. The artists involved in that company are Shimona Roy, Marianne Chetta, and Karen Anchetta. And they have invited us to show you all 4 dances back to back, and they challenge you to name the locations of each dance. At the end, we're gonna find out the answers. So we are gonna watch all in a row these incredible, truly incredible, remarkable pieces of art. 4 dances from Facets.
Great. So we're back on. That's great. So Franny, the neat thing about this is that we've got, I think, let me just check the schedule here. We've got an interesting idea from the folks at Shakti Fine Arts. They've given us a link. Franny, do you have that link handy?
I do. I'm all ready to go.
You're so smart, so much smarter than me.
Is that copyright?
So you can, yeah, if you can just throw that, like just say it out loud and then throw it into the chat, that would be amazing.
Our mods are on standby to share this information. So we have been asking you all week, where are these dances? And now all will be revealed. You can find it at http with the colon, then the two of these guys, bit.ly/HamAuntFacets. So bit.ly/HamAuntFacets. And our wonderfully helpful moderators are dropping that link into the chats as we speak.
Nope, we're not.
You can see if your guesses were correct. Now, before we went to see Facets, I was going to share that my first. Oh yes. Oh, we've got a screen share with the locations coming.
Yeah. So this is what you see when you see the link. You start at the first location, Stelco Hamilton Works, then Sherman Falls, then Sam Lawrence Park, and then Van Wagner's Beach. And one of the interesting things here, I mean, like it's a great excuse to get out and spend just a nice leisurely hour getting to know your city and discovering new parts of it. But it's also neat. I was talking to Karen Anchetta, one of the creators of these pieces, and she was talking about how nice it is to just sort of like, there's sort of like a north, south, east, west kind of vibe to it too. It's a little bit of a diamond, but nearly the cardinal points of the compass. So yeah, so we just encourage everybody to get out there and take a look at their, you know, like if you're in Toronto right now, come out to Hamilton and drive around. It is a beautiful city. If you're anywhere in the area, come out here, take a look. So we're going to throw to Heather Kanabe right now at the Collective Arts patio. We probably are only going to get audio from the show. If you want to go and take a look at what's happening with Nezqwik, Nezqwik is happening live tonight. Go to the Collective Arts patio. Maybe Heather, you can give the address. If you can, yeah, you can actually do this. So Heather, if you can maybe throw the address out there for folks I can't find main stage, but there you go. Yeah, so Heather, can you start your video? Oh, that's right.
What's right?
Great, so we just need to unmute you here. Hold on, Heather. Great, just a moment, folks. Fantastic. So Heather needs to unmute.
Is Heather our videographer right now?
Yeah. we thought we had this. Maybe Nathan is the one we need to unmute. I'm not sure which one we're supposed to unmute. I've asked both of them to unmute. It's so funny. We've done this for five nights now. Mm-hmm. And oh, hold on. We got something. Somewhere. We're getting some audio now. I think we're getting some audio now.
It might be from our Nathan Fleet screen. Nathan's our videographer.
Is Nathan Fleet?
Well, maybe they'll go to it like after the fact or something.
Hearing someone.
Yeah, we're not getting anything, guys. Okay. now I'm getting a FaceTime call from her. Yeah, we just. So Heather, can you hear me? We can't hear anything. You need to unmute the main stage computer. Okay, great. We just need to unmute the main stage computer, whatever the main stage computer is. I've got Nathan's unmuted now, but I can't hear you yet. We're hearing something. It sounds fun. Is Nathan plugged into the mic? I think we're okay. Okay, good. So when you talk into the mic, Heather, we're going to hear you. Okay. I'm turning myself down. No, he didn't exit. He just remuted himself. All right. So great. So we're just having too much of a difficulty making this happen. So we encourage you to go. Sorry about this, technical issues. We were having a real problem connecting to the internet. This is the new normal, hey? It's so exciting. Apologies to Heather Knaby on location, and thanks for being out there and getting things ready. And apologies to Nezqwik. We're not going to be able to show them live tonight. However, what we should do, or what we can do, is what was I going to say? We can tell people to go down to Collective Arts. So I'm just going to very quickly Google their address.
Do they still have tables open? At one point they were booked, but maybe those
were they sold out? It's worth it's worth a look anyway. They're 207 Burlington Street East, and that's where this is happening. Ooh,
I have an idea. Maybe everyone who's out there already, because it's going to be a full house.
Yeah.
Everyone who's out there can take little videos and stuff, and maybe we can try and repost them on our Instagram. Something fun.
That's a great idea.
If you're there, we'll share stuff over the next hour while it's happening.
That's fantastic. Yeah, this is what happens. It's a funny thing because you sort of like when you've got it's one of those situations where, yeah, things were working this afternoon and now things aren't working and nobody knows why. And so we've tried 1,000 different variations of trying to plug things through with the internet. We were going live off of, I think we were going live off of Heather's phone for a little bit. We were going live off of Nathan's phone, our videographer, Nathan Fleet, who's also brilliant. Big thanks to him tonight for making this all happen. So we do have a little time to kill, but like what we might want to do, why don't we throw to, yeah, well, we can just keep time. We can, you know what, Franny?
We can hang out.
Let's just hang out.
Let's hang out.
That's a great idea. Because I mean, like, you know, George isn't here yet. Friend of the Fringe and Cayuga Elder and Knowledge Keeper George Johnson is going to come in and honor us with a closing for the ceremony. He opened the show, and he'll be closing out the show as well. So that's kind of a nice thing. Have you had a chance to see anything yet?
The shows?
Like any of our shows yet? Have you had, like, and I don't mean to put you on the spot because you haven't been able to, you've been doing 1,000 things. I've been able to do, like I've been sort of like moderating some of the chats, just sort of like making sure that people aren't saying crappy things to each other. But yeah, and no, of course nobody is.
No,
but like some really like astonishing stuff.
Yeah, I can't, honestly, that's probably part of why I keep being like, don't forget to tell people you can watch them later, because this is going to be the first Fringe. I've worked different Fringes in many different roles.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the first time that as a staff member, I'll get to watch stuff. Because I haven't been able to see anything because I've been doing box office things. So I've been standby on box office until 10 o'clock every day. So I haven't been able to actually pop in and watch.
It's so true. The beautiful thing is that you have until August 9th to do this.
Yeah. And I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I got a list. Well, I'm gonna see all of them. I'm excited about it.
It's kind of great because with like only 14 shows, like there's only 14 shows. There's 11 shows that were part of Stream Out Loud. There's 3 shows that were part of Skip the Glitches, our online theater on demand initiative, I guess. Series.
Description?
Yeah, sure. So 14, you can get that done relatively, like you can binge that shit. I probably shouldn't say shit, but I'll say it again while I say I shouldn't say it. And then I'll say it's not copywritten or anything. It's not like I'm belting out Glass Tiger.
My word. Heavens. We're can you tell? You know,
we're vamping, Franny. We're vamping for another 45 minutes.
We're okay. Well, then I still have all my sleepover stuff set up. So I'm just gonna tuck right in.
You should. You've already braided your hair. What the frig am I supposed to do?
I braided my hair. Oh, we can talk. We can hang out and chat.
No, there's lots of exciting stuff to talk about. Also, like I was just gonna say, lots of exciting stuff to talk about in the world.
Just on Earth, just on the planet.
You know what? You know what we should talk about is how much there is to talk about. Is that a thing?
I'm actually, actually, Chris, I'm going to give you a thing to talk about by yourself for 2 seconds because I have some box office stuff I was going to do during the concert. So I'm going to pose to you, Chris, what if you could go back in time and see any concert on Earth, what do you think you would want to see? And I'm going to pose that also into our chats. So mods, I have a chat open with our online moderators. Moderators, you can share your responses or folks who are watching along. I'm really curious, if you could go back in time, what would you see? Actually, one of our moderators, we didn't get a chance to say it earlier, their first, I'm pulling this up, their first show, this was mod, I think this is our moderator on mod 2 tonight, maybe. That moderator's first show was to see Madonna Blonde Ambition in elementary school with parents and older sister. And this moderator is describing this as an embarrassing thing. I think it sounds like a brilliant, amazing thing. I would love to be able to go back in time and go to that concert. So I'm question to the universe, friends in the Zoom chat and friends who are watching, what would you go back in time and see live? Chris, what would you, if you could see any concert live, what would you do? Woodstock? Where'd you go?
Oh, no, that's a really good question. I think it would probably be like early Bowie. You know what I mean? Like early Bowie. Yeah. Like probably something along the lines of like maybe Ziggy Stardust or yeah. So sorry, I'm having people ask me to mute myself in the thing. So we're actually like I think we're gonna try one more time with the audio here, Franny, in terms of like we're gonna try to go live there. So we'll try killing. Yeah. So I think I unmuted it, guys. I'm not hearing anything. We're gonna try this one more time, friends and fam. They sound amazing in my ear right now. Listen to this. This is Nezqwik.
Hey, maybe that's our backup.
Oh, what?
Did it disappear?
It just hung up.
Our backup Ah!
Everything is happening. Everything is happening.
Something is happening. We're preventing car crashes. Somehow a plane is not crashing right now because of this. Something in the universe is happening in relation to this.
Oh, hilarious. It's just like, to me, this feels like it should have been the first night. Do you know what I mean? Like this feels to be like night one, where it's like, okay guys, we're here trying everything. Like I'm still like going back and forth. Like I'm tasked with, we should like fully just remove the curtain here. Like I am, like just in case anybody's wondering, I'm like, when you see it go back and forth between Franny and me, that's me doing that. So I'm trying to concentrate on doing that at the same time as I'm hearing people troubleshooting at the club, watching Nezqwik in sort of like stop frame. It looks like an old Harryhausen, like Clash of Titans stop motion animation kind of thing right now. It's pretty great. They sound incredible in my ear, and then when I'm trying to
but Chris, do you have a speaker you can plug your phone into? Because what if we just spotlight the video and people get the like stop motion video, and then we just play the speaker from your phone?
Because it'll sound probably like because Nezqwik's people will be like,
why did you do that to us?
Thank you, but no thank you. Why did you do that to us?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I mean, what do we have left? We've gone through everything except literal tin can telephones.
Oh, it's true. It's true. Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, because the main stage computer there, the one that we throw to for these on the spot locations. And I mean, we did like last night we were at we had Karma Chameleon live at Absinthe, and that worked out really well. What was the other live on location? We were at Mosaic doing trivia night.
Yes.
Like, so I mean, this technology has worked in the past, and it's just it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. Just decided not to work for us tonight.
No, it certainly made that choice.
Live Aid. So Ham Fringe mod. Was Live Aid your first? No, that can't be.
These are the go back in time answers.
Oh, go back in time answers. No kidding, Live Aid. Good answer. Oh, yes, to see Elton John share a stage with a mulleted Bono.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
That's wild. I think mine might be Woodstock. Although I think I also would hate it. Like, I think
Woodstock.
Pardon?
Woodstock.
Yeah, I think it would have to be Woodstock. But I also think that as soon as I got there, I'd be like, oh no.
I think that's true. You know, like certainly, how to say this in a way that doesn't give away how much of a square I was all the way through my life.
It's too late.
You know what I mean? Yeah, right? There's no way that I would go and be like, especially if it was now. Maybe if it was now, actually, I'd probably be like, well, I took all this time. Like, I built a time machine to come back to Woodstock. I am going to do acid. But if I was in my 20s, I would probably just be irritated with everybody around me and just be like, oh man, oh, put some pants on, bro. Oh gosh.
You don't think that it would maybe, what if it completely changed your life? Like, what if you, I don't know if it would.
It might, but it's also one of those things where, like, I think in hindsight, people built it into this like incredibly moving, incredible, like, oh man, nothing was ever the same after Woodstock. But like, I wonder if you went back to like any experience, like any sort of festival you went to, Fringe or otherwise, like if you went to another like show and you were just like, oh man, yeah, that made me who I am today. And if you went back to it and sort of re-experienced it, I wonder if it wouldn't be like watching old episodes of I don't know, Perfect Strangers.
Okay. I had something kind of like that in my life with theater.
Yeah. With what? With theater.
Yes, I did. When I was in university, I went to Guelph. I loved Guelph. It was a great place to go to school for me and my friends and my personality. It was ideal. Loved it. Couldn't speak more highly of it.
Right on.
I was deeply involved in musical theater there. And my friends and we became friends through this process. A bunch of strangers and I did a production of Urinetown in 2007. And it was that truly was a big thing for me. It meant a lot to me. And I was a music director for the first time in my life. I was a vocal director. And a friend of mine who I didn't realize was as good a musician as he was until he was in this role. He was the band director. So we worked together doing all the music stuff. And it was incredible. And actually, I can't remember if it was that band or the band the year later, but one of our band members was Steve Sladowski, who now is a hugely famous musician in the band Pups. One of Pups' musicians was in our musical theater pit band.
Amazing.
It was a great production, a wonderful experience. We all learned a lot. The show did really well. It's so silly and wild. If you can track down the soundtrack or whatever, I highly recommend people check it out. Or if you can find it the next time we're allowed to be in public spaces again, see it. And a friend of mine decided 7 years later, he was living in Guelph and he had started a production company by that point. And he was like, guys, you want to just do a remount? And we were like, what? And I'd never been part of something like that where it was like fully a remount of like community theater type, like student theater show. We were in the same venue. We invited anyone who was in the show in the first time to come back and do their part, and probably half the cast did and half the creative team did. And then we had a whole new bunch of people who come and join, and it was wild doing that show the second time around. Especially because, so 7 years later, I graduated.
Yeah.
Walking through campus, because we used all like the same rehearsal halls and whatever. I have never seen, like, did we all look that tiny and young? Like, it was frightening.
Oh, it's a funny thing, isn't it? I know.
It was overwhelming seeing how young everybody looked. And I also had this I'm not proud of, but like very protective, very defensive reaction to like people being in like the drama rooms and in the hall. Like,
yes.
Very, like, do you know who I
am? Or rather, do you know who I was?
Yeah, I know. Such an embarrassing reaction, but I really had some strong feelings. Because I remember also it was prompted because I was getting some attitude from someone who was like, excuse me, the costume shop is closed. And I was like, hi, Denny. Like, how are you? Like,
so good. Of course you did. Of course you pull. Like, that is the best way of pulling rank. Absolutely. Thanks. I'm good. Hey.
Yeah. Do my keys still work? Ha ha ha.
So good. Oh, it's so true. Oh my God. How's Tom? Oh, good. Sorry. Who are you? Thank you.
They're working so hard. Aren't they working so hard?
No, she's just doing her job. She's just doing her job. So
I'm a monster.
Just wanted to draw some attention to a couple of different little things here.
Please.
We've got one of our mods here, Claire, is mentioning specifically not the Woodstock, but the reboot stock in '94 when Green Day played the side stage. Green Day playing the side stage at Woodstock. Wilson Lynn, in my ear, said Santana at the original Woodstock. When he, like, I guess I remember hearing this story. It's sort of like a historical story where like the David Crosby no, it was the Grateful Dead guys. He is Grateful Dead. David Crosby. No, David Crosby, Crosby, Stills and Nash. Who's the dude from Grateful Dead?
I don't know.
Garcia.
No, yeah. Oh my! Now I'm embarrassed.
Yeah. No, don't be embarrassed. I think we should. Yeah, I think we should be extremely forgiving.
Thanks for publicly shaming me for not naming Jerry Garcia.
Yeah, no kidding. But like Jerry Garcia, I guess sort of was just like, hey man, you want these like jelly beans or something? Like there was something he slipped a bunch of acid into. And back in those days, like everybody was constantly spiking everything with acid, and it was like it's funny. And so Santana like had a ton of acid and didn't realize it, and was on stage like tripping out. So it's like this famous kind of like story from the era. Things were different then. But apparently, yeah, exactly. He had a good Wilson's yelling in my ear, but he had a great set though. It's true. Transcendental. It is. I've seen it too. It is amazing. It is amazing. Like, yeah, it's funny because I remember in the sort of like, I don't know, late 90s, early aughts when Santana was like doing guest spots on like Matchbox 20 songs. And it was just like, oh God, oh no. Like the one lick over and over again. He was just like, yeah, I'll just phone it in. Like, I already did Woodstock.
Yeah, I covered it. They can look it up. They can Google it.
They can Google it. That's exactly it. I don't know if there's a specific show I'd want to see Bowie. Like I did see Bowie before. Like I'm sort of a Bowie freak a little bit, and so like seeing him when he was like young and like in the sort of like the heyday where it was just like, you know, kind of like all the young dudes kind of era, or you know, like when he was like wearing dresses and just pissing people off, and it was just like, oh, that's what I would want to see. Like just and I think because of the historical context of it, the sort of like the kind of like, yeah, you know what, I'm bisexual, I'm androgynous, I'm just gonna sort of like, I'm gonna do me, you know, very much in line with what we were talking about yesterday with just sort of like, I mean, a different thing entirely in some ways, but like adjacent to our conversation with drag, like just the sort of, you know, the fun and the sort of playfulness that he had with playing with gender and all of its trappings and just the abandon of it, you know. I just I totally, I would kill to go see like see early Bowie, and then probably like hop back in the time machine and see like around Station to Station kind of era, like mid 70s, kind of like Thin Young Duke, like when he was like trying to kick heroin with Iggy Pop in Berlin, the heroin capital of Europe. Probably not the best idea with Iggy Pop.
But we also have to think about when we're playing this game, is it that we have to be able to choose our ages, I think.
Oh, that's true. That would make a huge difference.
I think that makes a big difference. And I think we also have to think in playing this game that we are we like an invisible observer that I get to like walk through, like I'm walking through a dream and no one can see me? Or am I someone who's like, oh, I was the brown acid that made everyone sick at Woodstock. That was my smart water that tainted it.
We've also got some other Shauna, one of our mods, is talking about how she would have loved to have gone to the Hacienda during the Manchester era, like Stone Roses kind of era. That or the Factory when the Velvet Underground played. Oh yeah, the Velvet Underground would have been awesome to see. Yeah. That's a good answer. Oh, David Byrne.
Oh,
early Talking Heads.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be fun.
Is there somebody that you're like, oh man, I would kill to see them now? Who would you kill to see?
Who's a current artist now that I would?
Yeah, current artist that you haven't seen yet that you're like, oh, bucket list.
Oh no, I don't know. I have to admit, I gotta I should check my parents' notes again. I feel like they're ahead of me again. Like the people that I've really been keen on, I've made a point of trying to see in the last maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I can tell you my favorite shows.
Yeah.
I've been to.
Talk to me about that.
Okay. I saw Tanya Tagaq and Owen Pallett do the Polaris concert where they played together at Massey Hall.
That's pretty awesome.
It was incredible. It was incredible. Although I was there with a friend, and the way where we were seated at Massey, we were on one of those kind of just going around the sides, and they had this huge reflective. It was gorgeous, very cool looking, but it was this reflective, like big box thing that was a set piece that kind of changed around. And every once in a while, we were completely blinded. Like the lights would hit it, and we were like, so blinding.
Yeah.
That was an amazing concert. Amazing concert. And Lizzo, I have to say Lizzo's like become really huge and popular. And I saw her in September. That's probably the last like mega group thing I've done as well. And it was unreal. Like she can dance, she can put on a show. It was outstanding.
You know, which there's a couple. When I was thinking about people that you would want to see right now, actually, like Tagaq is who was in my head. There was 2 people in my head: Kendrick Lamar and Tanya Tagaq. Actually, I'd kill to see either of those people doing their thing. Like it would just, it's like so good. And I sort of like I came to Lamar really late. I sort of like I heard a couple of things off of Damn, and I was just like, holy shit. And I kind of went backwards to Pimp a Butterfly, and then he like, I can't remember if he put out the soundtrack to Black Panther before or after, but like I came to him super late, and it was just like, holy shit, this guy's so good. Like he's somebody I would absolutely kill to see. But Tagaq was the other of the 2, so I'm sort of, and with Owen Pallett as well, like just the lushness of that would be, the layers I couldn't even imagine, like with both of them sharing the stage.
I was going to see Tanya Tagaq again actually in April. She was going to come play at the Oakville Center for the Performing Arts, where I bartend once a week when it's not a pandemic. And she was going to come there. And that's a great, once venues open up again, if anyone hasn't, because Oakville's right in between Toronto and Hamilton, and the Oakville Center for the Performing Arts gets really cool artists, sometimes like big, people you would expect, but then sometimes really cool, unusual, strange, or new artists. A lot of local Canadian artists play there. And it's an incredible space. It's only 500 seats, and the acoustics are outstanding. So I've seen some really wonderful, I've seen Serena Ryder there, Hucal Workman, a bunch of great people. But that was a COVID cancel that I was really bummed about.
No kidding, right?
Tanya Tagaq and Basha Bulat. I hadn't bought tickets for a concert in so long, and I was going to see Basha in May, I think, at the Danforth Music Hall. And did you have you had any? This is sad, maybe, but have you had any COVID cancels that you were thinking about hitting, or
not musically? No, I got everything like no, there wasn't anything that was being canceled. Like it's really unfortunate. It used to be something that I did like pretty much every weekend. Friends of mine and I would go out and see live music. Like it was so much a part of our lives. And then I think like a part of it has to do with having a kiddo. Like it just, it does dictate your nightlife in a little way. Like once she's sort of in a place where she can just like stay over at a friend's, or kind of like, I'm going out for a little bit, like in her sort of like later teen years or later teen years kind of thing, I imagine I'm going to have like a really vicious midlife crisis where I try to rediscover the young me. It's not, I guarantee it's not going to be pretty. I can see it coming a mile away. Like it'll like, oh, you know what I used to do this. This was me. I'll probably take up smoking again. just as a like, here's me. Here's what I do. I didn't smoke for a long time, but it is one of those stupid things. The psychology of like rediscovering yourself when you're sort of like older, like it's actually a really dumb thing, because it comes in waves. Like I've already gone through a couple of like, wait a minute, I used to be X and sort of like trying to rediscover the things that I was doing when I was 20. And it's like, no, it's okay. Like you don't have to. You're 30 now or what whatever. Now I'm not. I'm 44 now, for those of you at home. And the closer I get to the camera, the more obvious.
Now I'm 30. Now I'm
44. Totally, exactly. Yeah, luckily this camera is like just lo-fi enough to just give you enough room to kind of dream in a better looking face. I did though. Did you notice this is trimmed?
Right.
Yeah. I was put to shame yesterday with you and your gorgeous makeup, and I was just like, no, I'm not gonna look like I rolled out of it, like I just got thawed out of a glacier somewhere in the Siberian steppe.
Well, now you've got the button down, and I'm in the t-shirt. Although it is washed, I did wash it, but this has been my uniform. I'm switching between this and a fringe tank top all week.
Yeah, I was in the red. I was rocking the red fringe shirt for the rest of the week too. Just some fringe love. So as we're talking here and driving up viewership on our YouTube channel,
yeah, people are subscribing left, right, and center. I'm sure of
so
it.
Smash that subscribe button. There's more great content like this. We're gonna in a second, and I'm gonna take a pencil, and you can do this at home. Hey, it's straight, right? It's normal pencil. Look at that. Hey, oh, it's all weird. It's all rubbery. Doesn't work on camera as well, does it? Even that doesn't work. So more great content like this on the Hamilton Fringe YouTube channel. Smash that subscribe button. You want to activate the notifications. Bing.
You know what
we're on the wrong channel. We're on the wrong channel at the moment too. We're not actually on our YouTube channel because we had to go here. We should tell
right.
That's true. We had to go here on this YouTube channel, which is our sort of like burner account, because we were worried that when we went to Nezqwik, that them playing their own music on YouTube live. YouTube, for those of you out there, if I don't know how many people know this. I didn't know this certainly because live streaming has only become the center of my everyday life just recently. And apparently, if you not just if you like, oh man, here's here, like I'm just doing my thing and look at me, I got a pool of friggin' jello, I'm gonna jump into that, and then there's songs over top of me jumping into my pool of jello. It cannot be, for example, a Beyonce song. Like it can't be a song that exists that's copywritten. If you're live streaming a song, like you can't do it with a video either, but anything that's copywritten, any copywritten songs, any copywritten material, they've got, robot algorithms that kind of get in there and sort of are like, ooh, this looks very much like the song this. And they will flag you and they will stop your account. Yeah. So we had a couple near misses with some videos with some copyright that we didn't realize until the last minute had copywritten stuff in there, and it sort of like it slowed our account down for a little while, which was sort of a crummy thing. But this was our workaround, and because they're robots that do this. We were worried that Nezqwik stuff, them playing their own stuff, that would activate the robots. Our new robot overlords would shut us down. Yeah. And we were like, okay, well, it's Nezqwik's stuff. It's not like we're actually violating copyright. So let's put this up on the burner account tonight, and we'll drive traffic to the new. So even if you smash that subscribe button, there's not going to be content here after tonight. Go back to the Hamilton Fringe site from before. Go back to that.
Well, we do have something we can mention is we do have on our regular YouTube channel, we have playlists of everything that has. So this is our closing event, but the stuff that's been airing, so the Kids Club and the other Fringe Club stuff is in playlists. You can go and check all that stuff out. Yeah. And we do have, we can't access it right now while it's live, but we do have a videographer on site. So we're going to try and capture some of those things and share at a later date.
Yeah, that's a really smart idea.
Yeah, so
Oh, sorry, I haven't activated. Hold on, let me spotlight your video here. I've been trying
Oh,
to
yeah, okay, sure.
find the YouTube link.
Hello. So we do have Fringe staff on site. They are capturing it. They just can't get it to us directly live at this moment. But we're hoping that we will be able to have at least parts of the concert available on our social media and on our YouTube. So definitely stay tuned because we're going to do everything we can to get that concert.
100%.
Yeah.
So the fantastic. So what we got here, just a couple of things to finish up here with, and then we're going to draw it to a close, I think, Franny.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So yeah, just a quick thanks to, like, I mean, first of all, just how frustrating it is because nobody cares about this, but in my ear, they sounded amazing. They truly sounded amazing. Like
that's painful.
It is painful because it was just like, oh, we're so close to showing you something so amazing. Boo.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to say two things here. Number one is if you want to go and visit our normal YouTube channel for all of this great content that Franny's talking about here, all of the Digital Fringe Club stuff. Pardon me. This is the my sponsored beer that's making me burp. If you're interested, because that is exactly the kind of testimonial that any brewery would kill for. I can't believe they're not paying me directly. Hey, I'm your spokesmodel. Spokesmodel. Anyway, so the YouTube link for folks for our regular YouTube channel. This is the Hamilton Fringe YouTube channel that we would normally be on, where you can totally smash that subscribe button and activate the notifications so you find when so you know immediately when there's new content. It's bit.ly, again, bit.ly, bit.ly / capital HAM, capital FRING, Fringe, capital YU, capital T, Tube. Ham Fringe YouTube, all capitalized. And bit.ly is case sensitive, so you want to get that right. Maybe the moderators can put that in the current YouTube and Facebook again. That's bit.ly / Ham Fringe YouTube. That will bring you directly to our main YouTube page, not this burner account, and you can see all of the great content that's been up there from past Fringe clubs and past other Digital Fringe Club programming. The other thing is that get your butt on, thank you, Ham Fringe Mod, get your butt over to hamiltonfringe.ca / schedule and take a look at the schedule for tonight. There's some beautiful stuff happening. I'm going to tell you real quickly what the daily, the final, this is our final show, right? Or our final batch of live streams. So this is your opportunity, your last opportunity tonight to watch this with other people watching along in real time. Your chance to chat with maybe some of the artists that are there in the room with you. It's a lot of fun and it's really beautiful. There's so much great work, starting with a piece that kind of just, it's beautiful and ethereal and kind of broke my heart in 1,000 pieces. It's 3 of the storytellers and performers from the Hamilton 7, Tor Lukasic Foss and Lisa Pijuan Nomura and Karen Anchetta. They've formed a little tiny supergroup called Tiny Bill Cody for Lullabies for Tiny Spaces. And it's just a little short film, basically. The ruminations about their homes and just the kind of minutia of life that becomes bigger when you have nothing to distract you from it. So check that out. That's starting our final night of programming. Conspiracy of Michael by Same Boat Theater. That's Stephen Neer and directed by Aaron Joel Craig, 2 very talented artists. That's starting at 7 p.m. Now, a collective creation by the Hamilton Community Arts Creation Collective. That's a bunch of young performers guided by Stephanie Hope Lawler and Franny.
Erica May.
Erica May, that's right. I got her last name and I could not come up with Erica. I'm like, Elaine? Nope. Erica May and Stephanie Hope Lawler, again, two gifted facilitators who sort of guided these kids into exploring what it's like to be going through this now as young emerging artists and humans. So that's it.
Those kids have.
What's that?
What an advantage to explore this when you are young and able to see what happens. Like although maybe not, maybe everyone's all in the same place, but it feels like this might be, as we were talking about, the next Netflixification of theater. I imagine that versions of this will probably continue. And in some ways it's been really
right.
because the accessibility is there and there's a lot of neat aspects to it.
Yeah,
and I think there's an advantage to being young and figuring it out while you're young and
I think you're right. I think you're right. Because there is something to this, like there is something that is different about theater that's made for this format, right? That acknowledges the fact that, you know, we sort of are together, but like this is now the stage in some ways. And how do we work with that? How do we make it more theatrical? Like I'm excited watching people sort of like gifted artists and young emerging artists discovering this stuff together and being like, oh, this can be compelling. This doesn't have to feel like a corporate event. It doesn't have to feel like a workshop where you're learning how to, I don't know, talk a customer into joining your bank. Like, so where was I? Now at 7:40 p.m.
Now, yeah.
Sarah Frank from Minmar Gaslight Theater. That's at 8:10 p.m. It's the story of based on a real story actually of the first woman who served in the army. I might be getting that wrong, but she served as a man. Like she sort of like it's a story about like gender identity in the and the slipperiness of gender identity at a time when that was not part of the conversation. So so it's a really exciting and Stephen Jackson, a talented writer who put that together with the name of the director is escaping me. Ryan G. Hines. That's right. Yes.
I've typed all these names into so many different boxes. And
the irrepressible Ryan G. Hines, who directed and he's excellent and it's well done. Yeah, it's really well done. When Karen Met Katniss by the Multi-Everything Art Bitches at Fempire. This is in quotes. That wasn't a judgment.
No, that's a descriptor.
That is a descriptor.
Identification from
it is one of my favorite self-descriptions. I'm not gonna lie. Multi-Everything Art Bitches. Give me a break. Really the best. 8:50 p.m. Your final chance to see that live streamed. And then Waiting for Mark by Haven Theater at 9:20 p.m. closes out our festival. Now, speaking of closing out the festival, we have just been joined, it looks like, by our friend of the Fringe and Cayuga Elder and Knowledge Keeper, George Johnson, who has just joined the Zoom call here. George, I think I just sent you a little message to unmute your microphone. I'm going to bring you into the conversation here. Hold on a second. There, I'm going to spotlight your video. I can't hear you right now, George, because you just need to unmute your microphone. I've asked you there. You should just be able to just sort of like hit yes or accept that or something, I think. Oh, we got you, George.
We're ready.
Okay.
Fantastic. Did your granddaughter help you set this up tonight?
Yeah, I'm at her place again.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness for granddaughters, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness for granddaughters.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, we were just going to throw it to you, George. So as we're wrapping up here, just want to say some final thank yous. So thanks to my co-host tonight, Franny McCabe Bennett, who she and I have been doing this every now and then. Like it's been you and me pretty much for the last 3 or 4, hey?
Yeah, because Heather's been our correspondent on the scene.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, yeah, and like I cannot think of somebody I'd rather be in the digital foxhole with, Franny. This has been so much fun. So honestly, like thank you for for being here with me while we sort of like do stuff that is either like like sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't, but mostly it's worked. Yeah. So like just a big thank you to you, our associate producer, Franny McCabe Bennett. A thank you to our executive producer, Heather Kennedy, who has been just incredible through this whole thing. She's been hosting our entire daytime programming, and without whom I don't think any of us would have been able to keep our sanity through this process of just discovery and reimagining what it is that that we're doing here. So big thanks to Heather. I've got a bunch of thanks here really quickly before we sign out for the night, because it is the final night of Hamilton Fringe's What the Fest. And this is our last performance here in the Digital Fringe Club. So just a quick thank you to all the people that made it possible, all the performers and facilitators that shared their time and talent with us here in the Digital Fringe Club and in the Kids Club Camp, to our incredible team of volunteers and students that includes Claire Lloyd, Shauna Dunsford, Chris Stolte, Kellen, Avery Karashi, Lyra, that's Lyra K, Vicky Villanozzi from Space Revolution, Keely Kral, and Alyssa, and to my other colleagues here at the Hamilton Fringe, friend of the Fringe, Sanjudy Sarkar, videographer and producer Nathan Fleet, social media monster Emily O'Rourke, on-site technical director Mickey Wag, and his co-pilot Sarah Bolton, who made the Skip the Glitches, our live theater delivery initiative, one to remember, and nearly single-handedly, those two, brilliantly done. Our live theater, and a special shout out to the man who's currently in my ear and bringing me to you out there. A shout out to our online technical director and showrunner, Wilson Y. Lin, who basically made all of the things happen here online. He did the work of 3 people, and he's very good at his job. You should hire him.
You really should.
So that finishes us out for the Fringe Club and our final day of programming. Hit the schedule, hamiltonfringe.ca/schedule to see the rest of tonight's programming. And now, without further ado, to close us out is friend of the Fringe, a new friend of the Fringe, and hopefully a lasting one, and Cayuga elder and knowledge keeper George Johnson will now close out the festival. Yahweh, George.
Yeah, you want me to close now?
That'd be great. Now? Yeah, you're on. Thank you, George. Yahweh.
You want me to close it down now?
Thanks. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, I have a question first.
Sure.
Are you still affiliated with just the Festival of Friends?
The Festival of Friends. No, but Heather Kennedy, I think she does some work with Festival of Friends, doesn't she? Am I making that up, Franny?
I'm not sure. I have to be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Heather, I wish she was here right now, George, because I think she does some work with them.
Does she work with them?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the reason why I asked it, because I used to work with Bill Powell a long time ago. He was the director of Festival of Friends way back in the 80s.
Bill, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we used to do movie work. He used to send me out to Toronto all the time and do movies.
That's awesome. And what would you do in the movies?
Well, we did all kinds of weird, doing extra weird. The first part, the second thing, we had a principal part way back in 75, 76.
Amazing. So you had like an actual speaking part?
Yeah, we had each speaking part, yeah.
Why am I only finding out about this now? Why am I finding out about this at the end of a theater festival, that you're also an actor?
My son and I, he was only 7 years old, he was playing Little Bear, and then we were all getting $17 an hour.
What? $17?
75. Yeah,
that is incredible.
Frontier. We made a 6-week miniseries on Frontier. It was on a 6 weeks miniseries on Channel 6, Global 6, a long time ago.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if you can still find it anywhere, George.
I think so. I think it's on VHS, I think, someplace.
We're gonna have to find it. We're gonna have to get a copy from you and have a watch party. Look at what you looked like back in 1975 with your 7-year-old son.
Bill Powell.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Who is that that just came in?
World of the Worlds and War of the Worlds and experts, and we work with John Travolta and a whole bunch of guys.
Amazing. Who is that that just came in?
We worked with him when they were just breaking into this. And what's his name too? Green.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, he was just starting out too.
Yeah, he's so great. He really.
He's in. I don't know where he is now. I think he's in California or British Columbia.
Yeah, he's in LA now. He's in LA. Who was that came into the frame for a little bit and was exploring the camera?
Oh yeah, he was.
No, who is that was beside you? Somebody from your family came in and just looked in the camera beside you. Who was that?
Who's that?
A little girl just came in and looked at the camera beside you a little while ago. Who was that?
My granddaughter.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't even see her. She moved so fast, I missed her.
Oh, amazing. All right, well, let's close her out, George. Thank you so much.
I just had to put that in there because I kind of thought you guys were affiliated someplace.
Oh, I love it. Well, we're not, but it doesn't matter. That was a great story.
All right. All right.
Over to you, my friend.
All right. Well, nice talking to you guys, and maybe someday we'll do it again.
Let's do it in person next time.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Okay, I'll do it in the language short version, close it on. And what I'm going to say is I'll thank everything that happened and stuff like that. And at the end, I'll ask the four beings that protects us night and day to watch over us, and then if we got to travel, to protect us till we get back to our dwellings. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say in the language. Roughly around that. Okay, when I get scanned, get post it, when I get, we go, go post it, and then, you're ready, yes, it's what can you start, on his head. We got all down there, but the guy, it's what trick, they get, you're ready, get to an hour. They get out, when I get, the guy on it, the get 10 part, was a dog, the guys, and the is Tias Tut in that, Tin Park, the dog again, you go yes, and to go home east, sway gig, and they get that, and got go out, they want to go home. Then the when it got to in that, got to in that, the Ganoska dog, Nick Dagon, what they, we're going to get him in that. Chen Yunyat, and got dog, start in that, and so again. Skadoga and is tough. The what could have guided one name to New York now, no tough. I don't know, Nicholas. No negative nice card, one don't go and go home. On the Nina, got to now. Gain on, you can get your dog, you can back go ahead. Not the car for that New York now, Kadoga had to New York now. One on grace, scan again, go knock to who the end, gain you, and then gain you again, and you can't, you don't. When I get Scott and one don't go on, you go home. Then he, go to that, when you die, you go on again, on the say, got to the wine, you touch water, and I took one up to that. Come here on our great, and they get the dog again, from far one day. They get Chung Yunat, they got again near, they get Scott and one don't go on, you go home. Then he now has to show to God, Queenie one day, and then I got again, get kind of told stuff, then I don't get it, and I'm great. We are ready, get Chung Yunat, get again near one day, and then in Onagi and I got Onagi and I got to see now, one, you go home. Then we're going to get guys going again. Don't know handle what's your now get on again then he naga jango guess and go home got gone swat greg is a this way could do again naga do I one egg now do I one egg now the gain your the naga but you draw now you don't get that get to drive one egg and scan on G wire home was the donor I had to show that got really one egg oh nagi done it. Okay, that's all the best I can do, and I guess I'll be talking to me later on about honorariums and stuff like that. later on.
You sure will.
You got it.
Thank you and Yahweh, George.
Yeah, and Yama for having me on, and I look forward to
Nyo.
seeing you people in person.
Nyo, it was our pleasure.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Thank you,
I'm
George.
gonna have my sub now.
That sounds great. All right, and thanks to everybody out there. Good night.
All right, I can sign off now.
You're done.
You sure can, George. That was great. Thank you so much.